If you ask a Buddhist or a Hindu what happens after death, they will tell you about samsara, the wheel of rebirth. They believe that the soul is eternal, and it passes through many lives, human, animal, or divine, learning lessons and balancing karma, until it achieves liberation. If you ask a mainstream Christian, they will tell you something completely different. They believe in a linear existence. You were born once, you live once, you die once, and then you face judgment. Hebrews 9:27. These two views seem completely incompatible. East is east, and west is west. But if you scroll through internet forums, New Age bookstores, or conspiracy theory websites, you will find a persistent, popular rumor that challenges this divide. The rumor goes like this: early Christians did believe in reincarnation. It was a standard part of Jesus' teaching. But then, in the 6th century, a power-hungry Roman emperor and a corrupt church council edited it out of the Bible to control the masses. Is this true? Did the original disciples teach that we live multiple lives? To find the answer, we have to investigate the most brilliant, controversial, and misunderstood genius of the early church, Origen of Alexandria. He was the Christian Plato. He wrote over 2,000 books. And he taught a strange, cosmic doctrine about the pre-existence of souls that sounds suspiciously like reincarnation. Today, we are reopening the cold case of the transmigration of souls. We are going to separate the internet conspiracy theories from the actual historical texts to answer the question: did Christianity cancel reincarnation? Let's start with the popular conspiracy theory, because it is very specific. The theory claims that up until the year 553 AD, reincarnation was a widely accepted Christian belief. Then, the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I and his wife Theodora convened the Second Council of Constantinople. According to the legend, Justinian forced the bishops to issue a curse and anathema against the doctrine of the pre-existence of souls. Why? The theory says it was about control. If you believe you have many lives to get it right, you won't be afraid of the church. If you believe you have only one life, and then hell, you will obey the priest and pay your tithes. So, they deleted reincarnation to create a fear-based system. This story is compelling. It has a villain Justinian and a motive power. But history is messy. It is true that Justinian condemned pre-existence in 553. But was he condemning reincarnation, being born as a human, then a cow, then a human? Or was he condemning something far more complex, abstract, and philosophical? To understand what was actually banned, we have to meet the man who started the trouble 300 years earlier. Origen was a rock star of the ancient world. Living in Egypt in the 3rd century, he was arguably the greatest mind Christianity had produced since St. Paul. He was a master of Hebrew, Greek philosophy, and scripture. But Origen had a problem. He was trying to answer a question that the Bible doesn't clearly explain. Where do souls come from? There were two main options. 1. Traducianism. Your soul is generated by your parents, just like your body, at the moment of conception. 2. Creationism. God creates a brand new, fresh soul out of nothing at the moment of conception. Origen hated option number 2. Why? Because of the problem of justice. If God creates a brand new soul today, why is that soul born into a body with a genetic disease? Why is one baby born into a loving Christian family, and another born into slavery or paganism? If God creates every soul fresh, then God is unfair. He's arbitrarily handing out blessings and curses to innocent blacks. So, Origen proposed a third option, an option borrowed from his favorite philosopher, Plato, the doctrine of pre-existence. Origen argued that before the physical world was created, God created a vast number of rational intelligences, souls or minds in a spiritual realm. These minds were equal, they were happy. They contemplated God, but then they got bored. or called off. The Greek word psyche for soul, Origen noted, sounds like psychos, meaning cold. They turned away from God. They fell. To punish or rehabilitate them, God created the physical universe as a training ground. He gave these fallen minds bodies. Those who fell a little bit became angels. Those who fell a lot became demons. Those who fell somewhere in the middle became humans. This explains inequality. You aren't born poor or sick because God is unfair. You are born that way because of what your soul did in the pre-existent realm. This is pre-existence. But is it reincarnation? This is the smoking gun. Reincarnation, or transemigration, specifically means dying, leaving a body, and entering a new body, human or animal, on Earth. Did Origen teach this? The answer, according to the vast majority of his writings, is no. In his commentary on Matthew, Origen explicitly discusses the rumor that John the Baptist was the reincarnation of Elijah. He writes, "In this place, it does not appear to me that by Elijah the soul is spoken of, lest I should fall into the dogma of transmigration, which is foreign to the Church of God." He calls transmigration foreign. He rejects it. However, there is a but. Origen speculated wildly. In his book on First Principles, he wonders, if a human soul lives a really bad life on Earth, does it go straight to hell? Or could it be demoted to a demon? If a demon repents, could it be promoted to a human? Could there be multiple ages, eons? Could a soul go through a series of worlds, refining itself over eons, until it returns to God? This looks a lot like a cosmic cycle. It implies that the soul has a long journey. But it usually involves passing through different spheres of heaven or spiritual existence, not necessarily being born as a baby in France after dying as a soldier in Rome. So, Origen taught pre-existence, we lived before birth, and apokatastasis, universal restoration, everyone eventually gets saved. But he seemingly rejected metempsychosis, reincarnation into animals, bodies. So why did the church freak out? While Origen was speculating, there was a group of Christians who definitely believed in reincarnation, the Gnostics. Gnostic groups, like the Carpocratians, taught that the soul must experience everything before it can be freed. Therefore, it must be reborn into body after body, until it has filled the measure of all experience. The mainstream church hated Gnosticism, as we've discussed in other videos. They saw it as a body-hating heresy. They associated reincarnation with 1. The denial of the resurrection. If you have 50 bodies, which one rises from the grave? 2. The denial of judgment. If you just get a do-over, does sin matter? Because Origen's ideas sounded vaguely similar to Gnosticism, pre-existing souls falling into bodies, his enemies lumped him in with them. They accused him of teaching the fabulous pre-existence of souls and the monstrous restoration. Fast forward to Emperor Justinian. In 553 AD, Justinian wasn't worried about controlling the masses. He was worried about monks. In Palestine, monasteries were rioting over Origen's theology. Some monks were radical Origenists. Others were strict literalists. To stop the fighting, Justinian issued his anathemas against Origen. The first one reads, "If anyone asserts the fabulous pre-existence of souls, and shall assert the monstrous restoration, which follows from it, let him be anathema." Notice what is banned, not reincarnation. They banned pre-existence. They banned the idea that you existed before you were conceived. Why? Because it undermines the unity of the human person. Christianity, following Judaism, teaches that you are a body-soul unity. You aren't a ghost driving a meat car. You are a created being whose body matters. If you pre-existed your body for 1 billion years, then your body is just a temporary shell. It makes the physical world less important. By banning pre-existence, the church was doubling down on the importance of this life and this body. So, did early Christians believe in reincarnation? The Gnostics, yes. The mainstream church, no. Origen, No, but he believed in a pre-earthly life that functioned similarly to explain injustice. The Church rejected it not because of a conspiracy, but because it conflicted with the core doctrine of the resurrection. This brings us to the final debate. On one side, the reincarnation view. Is the idea of one life unfair? Does reincarnation offer a better explanation for the suffering of innocents' karma, and a more merciful God who gives us unlimited chances to learn? Did the Church lose a profound cosmic wisdom by rejecting the pre-existence of the soul? On the other side, the resurrection view. Or does reincarnation make this life meaningless? If you have 1,000 lives, does this one matter? The Christian view argues that scarcity creates value. Because you only have one life, every moment is infinitely precious. Every choice has eternal weight. You are not stuck on a wheel. You are on a trajectory toward a final, physical redemption. Is life a cycle or a story with an ending? Let me know your thoughts on this soul-searching mystery in the comments below. If you found this deep dive into the lost theologies of the past fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that uncovers the real stories behind our beliefs. Thanks for watching.